Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about one of the most ambitious yet analytically grounded predictions for XRP, a path to a triple-digit price. In a recent podcast, experts didn't just throw out a random number. They broke down the unique liquidity dynamics that could realistically propel XRP to $100 or more. They're calling it a perfect storm of catalysts, and they're explaining exactly how it could happen without needing trillions of dollars to flow in. So, let's dive into their fascinating analysis and see what this potential storm is made of. The core of this discussion comes from a recent podcast hosted by Paul Barron, featuring media personality Zach Rector. Rector presented a compelling argument that completely challenges the common skepticism around a $100 XRP. The key to his thesis is something called liquidity multipliers. Using data from CoinGlass, Rector observed something incredible during XRP's price run in November. He noted that relatively small net inflows of only tens of millions of dollars were able to drive XRP's market cap up by tens of billions. According to his analysis, over a 30-day sample, these multipliers range from 50x to as high as 900x. What does this mean in simple terms? It means that a little bit of new money can have a massive, amplified effect on XRP's price due to market mechanics and trading activity. Rector argued that this demonstrates why XRP doesn't need trillions of dollars of new money to hit $100. Instead, he calculates that net inflows of just $100 to $300 billion could be enough to push the asset into that triple-digit territory. This directly challenges the common argument that a $100 XRP is impossible because it would require a market cap of around $6 trillion. So the big question is, where would this $100 to $300 billion in inflows actually come from? Rector, along with others like Digital Ascension Group CEO Jay Claver, points to one major accelerator, XRP ETFs. Rector believes that first-year inflows into a spot XRP ETF could reach $10 to $20 billion. This is well above JP Morgan's more conservative estimate of $4 to $8 billion. It also aligns with comments from Canary Capital CEO Stephen McClurg, who has suggested that $5 billion could arrive in the first month alone. Based on these projections, Rector maintains a base case of $20-30 for XRP by 2026, with ETF demand opening the door to much higher prices over time. But the ETFs are just one piece of the puzzle. Podcast host Paul Barron added that multiple catalysts could converge into what he called a perfect storm for XRP's valuation. Beyond ETF flows, he listed factors like a U.S. market structure bill for crypto and Ripple's ongoing pursuit of a national banking license. Barron suggested that in such a scenario, XRP could not only surpass $50, but potentially push toward $100. He even argued that even after a sharp correction from those highs, XRP could stabilize at a $30.40 floor, which is still far above today's price. Perhaps the most staggering part of the discussion was what Rector called the $12 trillion unlock. He cited leading financial advisors like Rick Edelman, who are now recommending crypto portfolio allocations of 10 to 40% to their clients. This represents a monumental shift from their previously cautious stance. Rector estimates that between $8 and $12 trillion in retirement funds, like 401(k)s, could eventually be tapped. He suggested that a 10 to 40% allocation from this pool could bring trillions of dollars into the overall crypto market, with XRP positioned as a top asset to benefit from this historic influx. Rector emphasized his personal conviction by revealing that more than 90% of his personal portfolio is allocated to XRP. He said he's treating it as a long-term reserve asset rather than short-term speculation. However, he was also very honest about the volatility ahead, offering a crucial warning. The day that XRP goes to $50, don't run and tell your wife that your net worth is now 10, 20 million, because in short order, that could be cut in half again. So what's the critical takeaway? This analysis provides a structured, multifaceted argument for how a triple-digit XRP is mathematically possible through liquidity multipliers, ETF inflows, regulatory catalysts, and a massive shift in institutional allocation. It's a powerful and optimistic narrative. However, it is heavily dependent on a perfect storm where all these positive catalysts align perfectly. It also requires a sustained bull market and no major negative regulatory events. While the logic is sound, the future is always uncertain. This gives long-term investors a lot to think about, but it's always crucial to balance optimism with a realistic understanding of risk and volatility. What do you think? Do you believe these catalysts can create a perfect storm for XRP, or is it too dependent on everything going right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this discussion, please give the video a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.